We had no correspondence this evening, so that brings us to our first opportunity for citizens to speak. The audience has the opportunity to address the board at this time, and please direct your comments to the board as a whole. Comments become part of the public record. Speakers are cautioned not to use names of individuals, especially students, and while addressing the Board of Education, you have 3 minutes for your remarks. Please state your name, and a reminder that you're always, as always, welcome to submit your remarks in writing to the board, too.
All right, can everybody hear me? All right. Good evening. My name is Hayley Alderman, and I'm a junior at Port Huron High School. As you are probably aware, I'm a nerd who loves my school. So, of course, I was excited to attend the September 1st presentation given by the International Center for Leadership in Education. Yet, while I applaud the administration and school board's willingness to address Port Huron's academic issues, the glitzy rock and roll presentation frankly left me with more questions than answers. Here are a few of the lingering issues I have. 1, since the International Center for Leadership in Education is a business that stands to gain a more than $500,000 contract with our district, was there ever any doubt that they would claim our district was plagued with problems that they were uniquely qualified to fix? 2, why is it that when I Googled Bill Daggett, the founder of the International Center for Leadership in Education, I found so many disturbing articles that question his credibility? For example, cognitive psychologist Gerald Bracey said Daggett made up many facts used to support his contentions. And I quote, "Absolutely nothing this man says can be trusted. Clearly he simply can't help himself with his fantasies." The man lied through his teeth, telling the audience fantasies that they had no way of checking, end quote. For example, Daggett said in a speech something we were told here in Port Huron, and I quote, "We're the only industrialized nation on the face of the earth that thinks you teach biology and chemistry as separate courses. Biochemistry universally across the globe is seen as one and the same," end quote. Henry Duckworth, a biochemist at the University of Manitoba, however, said Canada teaches chemistry and biology separately. Duckworth states high schools are doing right to teach chemistry as separately so that students get the basics before they turn to the vastly more complex molecules that you have to deal with in biochemistry. In addition, Kazu Takebana, a chemistry professor at the University of Tokyo, said Japan also teaches chemistry and biology separately. England also teaches biology and chemistry separately. Mr. Daggett said, "No one in the world teaches theoretical algebra except in the US." David Robitaille, international coordinator of the 3rd International Math and Science Study and a professor at the University of British Columbia, said, "It's hard to imagine that what non-theoretical algebra would be. What North American kids study, theoretical algebra, is not much different from other countries." Mr. Daggett has said, quote, "At this moment in the Antarctic, Stanford University has a laboratory where they are growing tomatoes in 20-degree below temperatures outside, and they're growing to full flavor and texture without freezing," end quote. Fact. Arthur Grossman, a professor of biological sciences at Stanford University, said, "This doesn't sound plausible at all," and he knew of no such program. Mr. Daggett even lied while talking about his daughter, and this one's a whopper, and I quote, "My oldest daughter, Heidi, is the president and chief executive officer of Carolina Complete Care, which is the 4th largest medical facility in the world. She is married to a young neurosurgeon. She is in charge of 8 hospitals, including Boston Children's Hospital, Duke, and Johns Hopkins," end quote. Fact. Carolina Complete Care has just 4 doctors on its staff, an internist, a family physician, and 2 chiropractors. It does not run any hospitals. Heidi is married to one of the chiropractors, and she is the office manager. 3, it is clear that broad use of technology will be the hallmark of education in Port Huron. And although if we find a way to pay for the technology that is a foundation of Mr. Daggett's instructional approach, which as I speak has been cut and curtailed in many of the district schools, will the technology be used to truly enhance the learning experience for all students, or will it be used to replace it with concepts that are unfounded, untested, and untrue?
Ms. Alderman, can I ask you to summarize?
Yes, I'm almost done. I support comprehensive instructional change, but I don't know why we would ask this community to support an expensive plan based on false information, one that disparages our teachers and leaves the majority of them and all students out of the conversation. As I conclude, I'd like to point out that I have felt like Cassandra at these evenings with you. Cassandra is a character from Greek mythology who could foresee disaster, but when she refused to go along with the god Apollo's wishes, he placed a curse upon her so that whenever she spoke the truth, she would never be believed. You have made me and all of the other students, teachers, and parents into a gaggle of Cassandras, a group of truth-tellers and light-casters doomed forever to be seen as heretics. And so, as a nerdy Cassandra who loves my school, I attended the September 1st presentation with a hopeful heart and an open mind. But the minute I realized one of the presentation slides that was supposed to be a line graph had no numbers, well, I knew I wasn't looking at truthful information about American education. I was watching clever marketing. It is painful to see that Port Huron policymakers have reduced teaching to a clandestine art form, something wonderful that happens only when administrators are not watching.